I heard Mark saying they made Hove. Made Hove say, okay, so make another Hove. People wasn't playing their day roles, so we had to split like Ben and J-Lo. Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. Just got home, took a shower. I was big dirty, filthy, looking like a dirty little scoundrel, like a vagabond. Back on the grind. So I've got a crazy video for y'all today. As y'all know, I've been on a little hiatus. I've been trying to do lives here and there. Told you I fired a bunch of guys, and when that happens, well, you have to step up and take their place. So I've had to take place of half a crew of men that are no longer with me. So we're back at it, back on the grind, back with the videos. And today's video is crazy indeed. I got to talking to somebody, and he mentioned a name. He said, man, we had this dude show up here, and he got beat up by this other dude because he tried touching a man in a cell. And I thought when he started off, and once he said the name, I knew exactly what was coming. But he didn't say the name at first. He was just telling me this scenario and the story. He said he was trying to violate the man. All right. But he wasn't trying to take the June-Junes, wasn't trying to take the cakes, did not want the cheeks. He wanted the other thing. And before he could finish fully telling me the story of what had happened in there, and dude getting his ass whooped, I told him the dude's name. And he was like, you was locked up with dude? I said, yeah. A similar situation, except he didn't lose in that situation. He won. And he had a terrible name for doing the same thing when I ran across him. And that's what today's story is on. Some more of these predators, man. You never know what a man might want. Most people do have an angle when they approach your life. They want something. And if they can't get what they want, then you're of no use to them. And sometimes they get what they want, and when they can't get it no more, then you're of no use to them. This guy in today's story was and still is, a sicko. He's a weirdo. But he's a different type of weirdo. We've all heard of the booty bandits. Those type of guys. This guy is I guess what you would call a reverse booty bandit. And he takes it. He takes it. He literally takes it. Oh, man. I hate doing these type of videos. But these are the things y'all need to hear. These are the videos that hopefully somebody's going to listen to and say, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the gun. I'm going to stop hustling. There's a little sign in the store up the street. I think I'm going to go take that job and change your path. I don't care who you are, how big, tough, mean. There's somebody bigger, tougher, and meaner than you are. You do not know what low is until not only have you lost everything you have to your name, but you've also lost your freedom. The only thing you can lose from there is your life. Being locked up, being in prison, being in jail is the equivalent of being dead but still having a heartbeat. The world goes on. The clock continues to tick. And there you sit, tucked away and forgotten about. For dudes like the dude in today's story to come along and, well, you have to find out. Anyways, you know how to seen it. You know how to lived it. So, let's relive it. Give y'all a quick recap of the week real quick. Am I the only one that as I get older, things start to change? Like light? My eyes used to be fine. I told y'all I flash burned my eyes welding, right? And ever since then, now it's like any type of bright light just disturbs me. Just makes me unhappy. Just makes my eyes mad. So, fix the lokes real quick. Let's jump into it. Had a great weekend. Thank you to everybody that attended the lives this week. And I love going live. It's something I need to do much more of. You know, it's always loving my lives. And I thank each and every one of y'all. For y'all that caught the beach live, I didn't put the beach live up because it was just so much and there was a lot going on. There's always a reason to most of the things I do. And the reason for me taking that walk that night is I had something heavy on my heart. Something really heavy on my head. Someone that I have never talked about, someone that y'all know nothing about. This person has never been discussed. And one day I'll tell the story of who this person is, and I'll get into all of it. But someone near and dear to my heart was passing away as I was doing that live. Was at home, surrounded by family members, had stage 4 cancer, and I tried to call to talk to him. He had called me several times. And I got so caught up with my life, with work, whatever excuse I want to try to make, that I didn't pick up the phone. Because I figured I'll call him tomorrow. You know, I'm real busy at the moment. My hands are tied up, like literally with work and everything. I can't talk. I'll call him tomorrow. So when I do get around to, all right, let me give him a call real quick, check on him, make sure he's all right. Didn't answer the phone. So I had my wife message his people and make sure he was okay. And he wasn't okay. They said he's on hospice. We're pretty sure he's spoken his last words. And we're more or less just sitting here with him, waiting for him to die. She told me that. I left out the hotel room. We had gotten 2 oceanfront rooms at the beach. I left out the hotel room, was getting ready to get in the elevator, and I hit the stairwell. And I stood there for a minute, and I tried to call a couple more times, and the phone just rang. And I knew that I would never be able to say goodbye. And I would never know what that last phone call was supposed to consist of. Sometimes tomorrow doesn't come. And I want somebody to learn from my situation. It's painful to know that he may have been calling me to tell me, hey, I only have a certain amount of days left to live. Hey, the doctor said I'm going to die. I'll never know. And I should have answered that phone. But like I said, we get so caught up and wrapped up in our own selves sometimes that we say, hey, we'll just do it tomorrow. And as I was walking down the strip, talking to y'all, just kicking it with the viewers, he was passing away, and that's exactly what happened. I got back to the room. My wife was like, he died. Died at 2 a.m. It's a heavy load to carry, man. Sometimes we don't get to say goodbye. Sometimes we don't get to say I'm sorry. And when we do, we have to do it through prayer. And for me, that's what I did. Aside from that, it was a great time. Building and bonding with the family. Got up one morning to watch the dolphins and watch the sun come up. Check this out. Tell me that's not beautiful. How could you get tired of seeing that? Like, it's got me second guessing. Should I get, the place down there that I thought about? Even if we only go down there a couple weeks out the month, that's just beautiful. But yeah, that's my update, man. That was what happened while I was at the beach. That was when I told y'all I was walking and I had a lot on my mind. I really wanted to get into that situation. But if I had gotten into that situation, I would have completely broke down on camera. And the only thing that kept me from breaking down was turning on that live and building with y'all. I will be quick to tell you, I am bad at communicating how I feel. I'm not good at it. Maybe on camera, but not like in person. My wife tells me I need to learn how to communicate better. She can tell that I'm messed up out of situation because I feel guilty. I feel bad. I look at his name and the last 2 calls from him were missed. And I never got to take that call, I never got to take it. And that's, like I said, that's why I took off walking, man. And I can't really open up to her about how I feel. And this is something I'm working on. And it's because I'm so used to being alone. Even after all these years of being out, I still feel alone when it comes to expressing myself. And I'm not alone. And I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. But the moral of today's story is, tomorrow may not come. So if there's something you need to make right, something you need to say to someone, do it today. Don't do what I did. Don't end up having to say it through prayer. And he's not the first person that I had to apologize to through a prayer. We live and we learn. Rest in peace, man. And I love you. And I hope you're in a better place. And I hope that you're no longer suffering. Let's get into this video. 10 o'clock at night now. Let's go. So I got jammed up on a drug case. I've told that story before. I got tore off in the visitor room. Ended up doing a lot of time in the hole. And for the almost right at a year, I sat in the hole. And their reason for letting me out was I had a pending lawsuit had they not let me out in that year's time. Let me explain the hole where I'm at. You get nothing. Imagine, go lock yourself in your bathroom. Take everything away. Put a concrete slab in there. A metal like shelf where you could sit at. A steel stool. A toilet connected to a sink. And a door with holes all in it like a cheese grater. And a light. Then there's a cell window way up at the top. A little skinny window that if you stand on your tippy toes, you can look out and you can see the guys walk in the yard. Just a concrete room. You don't have no TV. You don't have no radio. The most you have is the conversation from the guys on the tier. We had a dude at the time named War Child. No joke. Dude's nickname is War Child. How do you get the nickname War Child? Anyway, this dude was like, in his mind, he was one of the greatest rappers to ever live. And he used to talk to this dude across the tier and just rap. That's what they would do. They would make songs. They would do hooks, bars all day long. Him and this dude would pass time. War Child and this dude would rap all the time. And I would listen. I would chop it up with the dude Curly in the cell next to me. I would fish down the other dudes. We could still smoke at the time. Tobacco would make its way back in the hole. So we constantly be fishing. Take a bar of soap and a string. Boom. Shoot underneath my door down the tier. Somebody else will hook onto it. We pass our time. War Child gets into telling his story one day when he's not busy rapping, when he's not busy beating on the door making beats. And he says he's back there because he got to fighting with this gay dude that tried to come down on his homeboy. I immediately think when I hear the story pop off that this dude is a cheek buster. This dude is a booty bandit. But it turned out he wasn't a booty bandit. He was a big-ass black dude that was gay, that looked gay, that had these puffy-ass lips, medium skin, chubby face, 5'10", 5'11", 225, 230 pounds. But his face was much fatter than his body for some reason. Like, he just had a weird shaped face, right? Some people called him B. Randy. Some people called him Brandy, but his name was Brandon. He goes on to tell us how dude tried his homeboy in the cell one night. He's like, dude pushed up on my homeboy, grabbed him, pinned him against the door, and they got to fighting in there, and he didn't really get into details on if he accomplished his mission, just that his homeboy got to fight with this dude, and that the following morning his homeboy came out and was like, hey, dude pushed up on me in the cell, had me pinned against the door, and we got to tussling. I think more happened in the cell, but I don't think he wanted to throw his homeboy underneath the bus. So he said he went down to the cell. He's like, yo, my homeboy was much smaller than this dude, so I went down to the cell. Me and him knocked up, and that's what it is. I got thrown in the hole. He's in a hole somewhere. My homeboy is back here in the investigation too. So somebody had to have told administration what happened for his homeboy to get jammed up, or maybe he had marks on him, but he never got into that point of the story. He just said that his homeboy and this dude named Brandy, aka B. Randy, real name Brandon, that was a gay guy, got to rumbling. All right, whatever. He ends up leaving, and somebody else tells the story and says, no, War Child got beat up by the gay guy and then had marks all over his face. You just couldn't see him in the hole. He'd been back there for a minute. But he got whooped by the gay guy, and they all three went to the hole. But it is true what he said about the dude, Brandy, pushing up on his cellmate, you know what I mean, in the middle of the night, pinning him against the door with his arm and punching him, and he was trying to take it. Trying to take what? The cheeks? No. He was like telling the man he wanted to do this to him, do that to him. Mind you now, this is a big-ass gay man. Not gay, aggressive man. Gay, feminine, but aggressive at the same time. If you can put those two together, it's prison. He didn't want the cheeks. He wanted the ding-a-ling. He wanted to try to, he wanted the man to give him that.
How about no?
And the man wasn't with it, so he pinned him against the door and tried to take it. Tried to reach down his pants and was going to try to... What was the mission here? So he goes and gets his homeboy the following morning. War child comes down there and gets whooped by the dude. Now he's got marks all over him. The guards alert. Boom, everybody gets locked up. I spend the better part of a year in the hole. I come out the hole and I go into 200 pod of 7 building. I'd have been from 1, 2, 300. I'd have been through all out 7 building, right? No, actually, prior to that, I was in 300, came out, went to 100 when I came out the hole. Let's get the facts straight, right? I'm in 100 pod now. It's 2008, and I'm in here better part of maybe 4 or 5 months into being into 100 pod. We get a whole bunch of new guys. Guys come in from all parts of the prison. You might get guys that come in from another prison. They might have just came in from the intake pod in this prison. They might have just came from the hole. They might have came from the other side of the compound to come over here to take a trade. We're always getting new guys. Guys come in and come out. You know, it just constantly happens. There was a point in time where I was in that pod. It was me, Nate, T. There's about 6 of us that had been in there for years. We were like, you know, the longest lived people in that pod. We get a group of new guys. At this point, they took all these kitchen workers out of our pod and moved them over to 8 building, and it left probably 20, maybe 20 to 20, oh, maybe more, 20, 25 cells completely open. They allowed you to go get a cellmate, whoever in there you wanted as your cellmate, put them in a cell with you so that they could have all these cells open. We get an ass load of new guys in. Some of these guys came from 9 building, which was the, you know, when you first come in, you got to go through 9, and then you go to wherever your building is going to be. A lot of these guys came from the hole, guys came from the other side of the yard. A bunch of these guys came from 8 building. When they started putting kitchen workers in 8 building, they started moving people over here. And we're watching to see who the new guys are. This could be one of my homeboys. This could be somebody I know from the street. This could be somebody from the other building that I kick it with on the yard. So we're watching everybody come in, and these dudes are piling in with their bags. Some of them got boxes. That lets us know they just got there. But everybody with bags, we know, all right, they're coming from another building or the hole. I see a dude that fits a description, but I can't place it. And War Child made it like he painted a picture of what this dude looked like. And this dude did a very good job of describing what the dude Brandy looked like. With the face on the bottom that was just wider than the top, like his head was skinnier on the top and just had these big ass cheeks and these big ass lips. And when I seen these dudes coming through, I'm peeping everybody. I was just standing at my door. Told you we could still smoke at the time. I think I was smoking on the roll up, just watching dudes come in. Aggressive is in full effect. You're gonna see me, I'm gonna see you. I'm not the one to try, so I'm just watching dudes come in, smoking. Cellmates on top bunk. He slept a lot, did legal work, slept all the time. And I'm watching these dudes roll in, and I see this dude. I'm looking at the white dude, seeing who they are, and I'm pretty much sizing everybody that comes up in, seeing if I know anybody. We had a dude in our pod at the time named Bubba, and anybody that's been up Greensville knows this dude named Bubba. Not my homeboy Bubba. Every prison's got a Bubba, a big Bubba, you know the myth of Bubba. We had a dude in our pod at the time named Bubba that had these pink glasses like John Lennon with these round lenses. No lie. Bubba was the dirtiest dude, had dirty ass teeth, used to be really skinny. Then they took smoking out, this dude swole up like a potato. But Bubba was out there talking to people, and when this dude came in, he come up like 3, 4 cells down from Bubba. Just in scanning the room, I could see that Bubba would not take his eyes off this dude with the fat face with the big lips that I come to find out was a dude Brandy. This is the same dude that War Child had been talking about in the hole. The dude that tried to take the dude's Peter from him. The one that didn't want the cakes, he wanted the hot dog. No! Bubba sees this guy, and Bubba's a guy that talks all the time. He's gay, he's outspoken, but he would say he's not gay. He would say he's bisexual. He said in the world he messed with women, but in prison he messed with boys and he messed with men. Like, it's just crazy shit. I could tell in his demeanor when this dude came in that there was something wrong. He goes from laughing and talking to the people that he's over there talking to. Bubba was like hustle man, always moving around. He reminded me a lot of like a white version of Jingling, except he wasn't a cheek buster. He would get his cheeks busted and bust some cheeks, and he was just all over the place. I can see from looking at Bubba that something is wrong. He goes in a cell, and there's a button on the wall. Boop, push the button, you watch his door close. Now, I dealt with Bubba a million different times. If I needed to get something, Bubba was your go-to guy. He could get it. Anything from a knife, you want a cell phone, you want weed, you're looking for pills. I don't care what it is. Bubba is plugged in all over the side of the compound. Everybody knows the guy. He's been in prison, Lord knows how long, and in and out of prison his entire life. He's like a prison legend. Everybody's heard the name Bubba. He's that guy. Let's get to the story. Later that evening, the rumors start up. Now, we got a bunch of gay guys that came in. There was another guy. Ironically enough, it's crazy. There's 2 guys I met throughout my entire bid in prison that I had heard would take people's ding-a-ling. How do you take somebody? How does that even, that thing's not going to work unless I like whatever's going on. So I used to think the whole scenario was cap until I actually lived around it and saw it to be true. But these 2 guys that came in, Brandy, and then there was a dude named Big Dana. How many of y'all been up Greensville and know who Big Dana is? Bubba gets to talking to people, and it's like prison.com, word spreads fast. Everybody starts to hear what's going on. And Bubba tells everybody that many years ago, him and this dude Brandy were cellmates. And Bubba's one of these dudes that, I think Bubba had like 7, 8 different sexual assault stories with different dudes. Like if somebody had sexually assaulted somebody, somehow or another, Bubba always fell victim to it or played a part somewhere along the line. He had like 4 or 5 different stories of, man, that dude did this to me and that dude did this to me. Bubba was also at one point assaulted by Jingling. Bubba tells the story of Brandy, and by the time the story makes it to me, who God knows how much of it got twisted, but the way it went was he was asleep one night, and he said he was asleep on his back, and he was on the top bunk, and that in his dream, he started, like, I guess it was like a wet dream, and he woke up to this dude, Brandy, touching him. He's like, dude's hand was underneath the blanket in my boxers and was doing only something I should be doing. So dude's asking him, what did you do? He said, at first, I tried to play it off like I was sleeping, and I tried to like, he's a good sized dude. He said, so then I tried to like take my hand and move him away, and dude just continued to do what he's doing. He said, so when I tried to push his hand again, he grabbed my wrist and continued to do what he was doing. He was like, what are you doing? I sat up like, what are you doing? He's like, dude grabbed me by my shirt, pushed me back down to bed, and kept doing what he was doing. This shit is disturbing. This is not PG-13. Cut off at this point. Did I put a disclaimer? You know what? Before editing, I'm going to put a disclaimer. He said dude continued to do it and had him pinned down and had put his arm against his throat, was holding him against the bed and was doing what he was doing. He just laid on the bunk, and then everything came to an end, and the dude got in his bunk and went to sleep. This was years prior to this dude coming in. He said from there he should have straightened the situation, but he didn't. Bubba wasn't no fighter. He wasn't no violent guy. I had seen Big T slap him. I had seen Nate slap him. I'd seen all types of dudes slap him, and he just kind of took it on the chin. It was part of the game. It was part of prison. That was who he was. That was his character. He said from there things got worse. He's like, the guy would offer, and Bubba didn't have nothing. That's why he hustled so hard. He was indigent, never was on the phone, never went to the visitation room, never got his name called for mail. It was like on the day he got locked up, the world forgot about him. So his way of getting money was hustling in the prison. He said after that event, the dude started offering him money. Hey, yo, I'll throw you some money if you let me do this to you. Or I'll throw you some money and you do this to me. Now, this dude is gay. He is on the receiving end. He doesn't want no cheeks. He wants the front section of the man, right? So Bubba said, all right, whatever. I told you Bubba swings both ways. The man starts paying Bubba, and now Bubba is pretty much letting Brandy do different things to him. B. Randy, Brandon, Brandy, all these different dumbass nicknames. He's letting this man do things to him. Something happens. He didn't get to the point of the story of how this all came to an end. Just that him and this man had history in the past, and that he did not want this to start up again. He didn't want to be wrapped up with this dude. This dude was known for fighting, and he's known for taking things. With the situation with Bubba, it wasn't like, hey, I'm gay. What's up, man? Are you down? It was one of those, he pinned this man down, and yeah. So I hear all this, and I'm thinking, I'm looking around, and I'm looking over at who his cellmate is, and they put Brandon in a cell with an old-ass man. Like, if he wanted to do something with this old ass man, it's not going to happen, because everything that man's got probably stopped working around the same time that the Great Depression hit, right? It's not long after like 4 or 5 days, I see this dude get moved out of the cell he's in. He gets moved upstairs with a tall ass white dude. Now this tall ass white dude played basketball, and outside of playing basketball, he was real quiet. He played poker, but he wasn't one of those dudes that when he was at the poker table, he was loud. He was one of those dudes that sat at the poker table quietly, had a small squad of dudes he messed with. I never really seen dude fight, do anything like that. Like I said, I don't even know the dude's name. That's how quiet he was. But he gets moved up there. And you could tell dude is not with it, because as he goes up the staircase, dude comes in from outside and sees him moving his bags upstairs and is looking like, how's he going with those bags? And he goes in there, gets his shower stuff, goes on down to the shower, and out the shower, goes in, and I guess he has to ask the dude like, hey, I know you're putting your stuff up, but can you step out the cell and let me dry off? Let me get 5 minutes to put some lotion on, some baby powder. This dude Brandon is just continuously just putting his stuff up. Big fat face, big lips, big shoulders, good sized dude. He steps out the cell, dude closes the door, gets himself right from the shower, and this dude would usually either hang out in the cell and watch TV or go out there at the poker table. Every now and then he'd come out and watch ESPN. He immediately leaves out the cell and goes and sits at the table. By himself, not talking to nobody. My best guess is,
great, I got this dude up there in the cell with me that's known for coming on to dudes, that has taken it from dudes.
Bubba ain't had no shame in his game. Bubba was probably one of the realest dudes I met my entire bid. Who would come out and tell somebody something like that but Bubba? All I can think, and I'm sure everybody else is thinking, is I'd hate to be him and lock him. What he needs to do is go up there and punch dude right in the face right now and just get this shit over with. Let him know we're going to go ahead and fight, get it out the way. You're not going to try me like you tried Bubba. We lock in that night. The following morning, everybody, and when I mean everybody, everybody is curious as to, did this dude have the strange visitor like Bubba did in the middle of the night? So we come out first thing bright and early in the morning for chow, and we all look up, and from the looks of things, ain't nothing happened. Dude comes out, is tucking his shirt in, clips his ID to his pocket, and then Brandy comes out behind him, and everybody goes to chow. Dude will go on about his regular routine, like dude wasn't in the cell. I don't know if they were clicking in the cell, if they talked in the cell. They didn't talk much outside the cell. It appeared they just shared a cell together, and that was just it. Wasn't like they would dap up or communicate. The most they might talk is in passing, hey, I'm getting ready to go to rec. Can you make sure while I'm not in here that the cell door is shut? Or hey, I'm about to go to work. Make sure the cell door is shut. Basic communications, no real rap for each other. It always ends bad. Now, this is one of those places that something's always going on. So your attention is only going to be, hold up, pause. Cream soda. What you know about that cream soda? There's always something going on at this place. So today, everybody might be focused on this. Then this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. So much transpires up there that your focus shifts real quick. Whatever you're focused on today isn't going to be your focus for long unless you're involved in it. You're going to start shifting focus to all these new events that take place. Time passes. It appears to all of us that they just sell together. Whatever they decide to do in life, they don't entwine that. They don't mingle. They don't kick it. They just both live in a cell. Yeah, okay. Little rumors start going around. The dudes in the cell next to him start telling other people, and we start overhearing what they're telling people, that at nighttime, they're hearing noises coming from the cell. What kind of noises y'all hearing? They fighting over there? Nah. We're hearing other noises. Like tussling? Nah. What you hearing? Sound like somebody moaning. And then you hear somebody go, yeah. Nah. And you hear, nah, y'all tripping, Doug. Look, watch you say, don't be starting rumors now. You know how a rumor gets you beat up real quick, right? These dudes are adamant on what they've heard. Dude's like, no. I heard it. He's like, middle of the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I get up to use the bathroom and I hear it. The cells are close. Like there's a gap. Maybe a 12-inch brick wall separates you in the next cell. So the edge of your door and the edge of the next door, maybe 10 to 12 inches is what separates the two of y'all. Your toilet is not far from the door. And at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're standing at your door, you can hear people snoring. You can hear people farting. You can hear people coughing. You hear toilets flush. It gets so quiet in the middle of the night that you can hear the officer's keys. Like a rookie will come in and his keys will be jingling. You can hear the skirt of his boots as they come across the floor. You hear any door opening. Like, it's quiet to the point in there that you can damn near hear a mouse run across the floor unless somebody's snoring is, messing all that up. These two cellmates swear to God that they're hearing the tall white dude and B. Randy, Brandy, Brandon, whoever he wants to be known as, doing some things over there. Doesn't take long before the whispering makes its way back to Brandy. We're all sitting out there one day, just a regular old day in the neighborhood, another day locked up in the prison, and we hear a whole bunch of commotion. I look up at the top tier, and most of the cell doors are closing. So the first thing I'm looking for is doors that are open or the ones that are going to draw my attention to, and you can pinpoint. One thing about being locked up is as things are taken away, other things get greater. And what I mean by that is you lose all these things in the world, but living in a cell, your senses heighten. Your vision, your hearing, things like that, locking in on a situation, you get really good at those things. So we're sitting out there and I hear this commotion and this fighting, and I look around and I'm scanning the doors, trying not to draw attention, because the guards, if they hear it, they're going to look at the inmates to see where the inmates are looking. And once they lock on the inmates, they lock where they're looking, it'll draw attention. I look up and it's coming from the cell next door to where B. Randy lives and these dudes that were talking shit. The door is closed, but you can see the commotion. There's a long, skinny slot on the door taking place. And it sounds like shit's going down in there. Maybe another 30, 45 seconds passes, and the door pops open. B. Randy comes on out with his shirt ripped. He's got this blue button-up shirt on with his white shirt underneath it. All the buttons on the blue shirt are completely torn off, and the white shirt's ripped. Comes out and goes on into his cell. A little while later, these two dudes get to, one makes his way out, then the other makes his way out. This big son of a bitch went in there and beat both these dudes up. One of them's just a smaller white guy that had no place running his mouth, and the other dude was just a regular-sized black dude. These were both goofy dudes, weren't no what you would picture being in prison type individuals. These dudes used to sit at the table to let you know what type of dudes they were. These dudes used to sit at the table and play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not playing. We used to call it daggers and dildos, penis head to gathering, like these were these type of dudes. Brandy done went in the cell and beat both these dudes up. This I will give them. They wore that ass whooping like champs. I expected one of the two of them to go to the guards and say, look, I fear for my life. I got beat up. I can't tell you who did it, but it's going to happen again. I expected one of the two of them to think, well, what if he comes over here and tries to take my woo-woo? What if he comes over here and tries to pleasure me? I thought they were going to check in. Not what happened. Dude, B. Randy comes out a little bit later and tells people, like, makes an announcement. When you do this, whenever you make an announcement like that, be ready for whatever comes. Because when you make an announcement and you do it out loud, you're not speaking to one person. You're speaking to everybody. And he tells everybody in the pod, pretty much, mind y'all's effing business. Y'all know what I do, but don't worry about what I do. Let me find out people here gossiping, running their mouth, and I'm going to do y'all like I did them. I got to do this everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, people want to whisper about me. People want to talk about me and what I do. I do what I do. I don't bother nobody. Y'all a bunch of bitches. All y'all want to do is gossip, gossip, gossip. Y'all more hoes than the girls, and the boys isn't here. They refer to the boys as girls. Y'all more hoes than the girls isn't here. That's all y'all do is want to gossip all day. Let me find out Brandy's name came out your mouth. This is a dude that usually would speak like a female, and all that left real fast when he addressed the crowd. When he made his public announcement, you saw Brandon. B. Randy, Brandy went away, and Brandon came out real quick because he addressed the whole room. You got dudes that are not feeling what he just said. You got gang members that are looking up like, yo, I know this gay ass dude ain't just come out here pop and fly. You got lifers in here that don't get down like that, looking at him the same way. All types of different people are going to feel some type of way about what you just did. He goes on back in the cell. Short time later, they call movement. He goes somewhere. I don't know where he went. I don't know his schedule. I don't know if he had school or he had a trade he went to. But whatever happened, he left. I still ain't seen this tall white dude. The whole time all this shit is taking place, the white dude has been in the cell. He didn't come out when they fought. He didn't come out when his son bitch came out and made the announcement. He hadn't been out since these two dudes came out with bruises all over their face and red marks. He's shacked up in a cell, scared to show his face, embarrassed as he should be. Because I guess he thought, if we just play normal, act like we don't talk to each other, act like we just cell up together, nobody will ever know. But what he didn't know is the little noises he was making, people were hearing. No sooner than Brandy goes off to wherever he went that evening with his shirt tucked in, I see the white dude come down the staircase and he's got all his stuff rolled up and took his blanket, rolled all his stuff up, tied it in knots, got 2 commissary bags, and he goes to the booth. Then I see the door slide open and I see him drag his stuff out. He checked in, rolled out. He rolled out because he had been exposed. I can't see how someone could get like this unless they like what's going on. If I'm not attracted to somebody, this is not going to happen. This is going to happen. So now what's come out is that you had to enjoy what's going on. Even though this dude is known for forcing it on people, it didn't seem as a forced act. But we would never find out. He rolled out and went on across the compound. But here's the thing with that. When you roll out, don't think that because you checked in, everybody's not going to find out what you did. Everybody's going to know. Everywhere he went from there on, that's what he was labeled as. That's what he is labeled as to this day if he's still locked up. The guy that was either giving it to Brandy or that Brandy pinned down on the bed like he did Bubba, took it one good time, and then continued to take it from there on. Now, Brandy ended up getting his ass beat on the yard maybe a month and a half later for running his mouth to some gang members. He was one of those dudes that just did not know when to shut up and thought that he had a gay pass. Like, since he was gay, he could just say whatever he wanted. And a lot of them dudes were like that. Gets running his mouth to this dude on the yard, and next thing you know, they just mobbed down on him and beat him up. The last I had heard about him prior to just recently hearing that he's in the same prison as my homeboy and up to his same shit again, was that he had pending street charges against him because he had stabbed somebody in the inside of the leg. Like, I guess on the inner thigh. I don't know. He went to the other side of compound S2, and like I told you, word travels. And I don't know if he tried to pin the dude down, if he pulled the knife on him and attempted a sexual act, or where the knife came into play. I just heard that he had caught street charges for stabbing somebody inside the thigh. But to get stabbed on the inside of the thigh would A, make me think that you were higher up in the air than the person, like sitting on the top bunk, and that your legs were open. There really is no idea for what B would be unless somebody was in between your legs. But that was the last I heard him, is he stabbed dude inside the thigh, was in the hole, was going to get transferred, was supposed to go high up into the mountains, into the Supermaxes, do 23-1 where his weird ass needed to be. But he is still locked up. And my homeboy said he's right back to his same old shit. Now, a lot of people might listen to this story and think that it's not equivalent to what a cheek buster would do. And I'm going to leave my opinion out of it. I'm going to say this. Anytime you make a sexual advance or aggressive in nature or try to force someone or take something from someone, you're no better than the next man. You're a sex offender, and that's as simple as it goes. The dude was a predator, 100%. But he didn't want to be the man in the ordeal. He wanted to be the female. Why he didn't just get a man, I'll never really understand. I never knew this dude or heard of this dude having an actual man. I guess he wanted his cake and wanted to eat it too. Who knows? But his thing is he got off on the making straight men do things that straight men don't do. And did not care if it came out. So now I got to tell y'all about Big Dana. I'm just joking. It's late. Y'all don't realize how much time goes into these videos and how much time goes into editing. It is now 1:49 in the morning. I've been editing as I record. I'm exhausted. I'm ready for bed. I have to get up early. I got up early and I'm ready to go to sleep right here in my truck. So I'm going in the house. Stay out of trouble, people. Stay out of prison. Use your brain. God gave it to you for a reason. There's nothing cool about getting locked up. You know what's cool? Being here for your family, raising your kids, taking responsibility, not being a criminal, not being a burden on your family. That's what's cool. But anyways, these jails, detention centers, these prisons, these streets, they're all just crazy worlds inside of a already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. To all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. But y'all know how we do. Salute.